Subscribe if you like the video.
Growing up, I did want to be something whenever I grew up. Maybe a firefighter, a doctor, or something of the sort. Hopefully making a lot of money, helping other people out. However, at this point, whenever I came into high school, I had a really bad drug problem. My parents didn't seem to mind either, because at this point they were more worried about my older brother than me, saying that why couldn't I be like my older brother who was in college at the age of 17. They never really paid attention to me, so I could really just do whatever I wanted at school, and I could only not really get grounded every time I got in school suspension for being a bad boy. My story begins whenever I was in class and my stupid fucking bitch algebra teacher, Miss Foster, was talking about something really stupid. Something about absolute values. I really hated this class because she was a total bitch, pointing me out in front of the whole classroom if I didn't have a charger for my Chromebook, and would be on my ass every time I had the munchies in her class, and simply being a total bitch. Then my homeboy, who was a plug for our school, would sell Xanax bars and other Percocet accessories and opioid accessories. One day, he told me that his supplier had gave him a new batch of something different. It came from the slums of China, made with the pee and piss of cows, a certain cow breed that had psychoactive materials within their urine, and then the urine was mixed in with all sorts of medical opioids, including fentanyl, and then it was all pressed into a pill. At first, this seemed really gross, because the urine probably makes the pill taste really bad, but at the same time it would probably be like taking shrooms and then popping pills. I asked my homeboy if I could have some for free, since we've been day ones and he's been running up the block since he was in elementary school, selling cigarettes to our elementary school classmate. And of course, he gave me some. And then he warned me of this one specific thing. Do not take more than one pill, for the urine is very potent, and you'll start to see things that you may not like. Bad trip. I of course ignored him, because I don't really care. I've been popping pills ever since I was in middle school, so this would be light work for me. As the fucking stupid bitch teacher was teaching the class, she wasn't paying attention to me as I popped both pills that my friend gave me. Even though I was supposed to take one within a 12-hour period, I still took both anyway. At first, I didn't really notice anything besides the mild taste that the pills had. And then, my vision started to turn yellow, and then I really needed to pee bad. I remember drinking water this morning, but not a lot of water. And I usually drink a lot of water, but it's really weird that the pills had made me have the sudden urge to go use the restroom. But since my teacher is a stupid bitch, I didn't really care to ask her to use the restroom, and instead walked out the classroom because she's a stupid bitch. I walked down the hallway, and everyone's face is really strange. Instead of a regular face, their face was of a face that I could not really describe. Their face was yellow, as was my vision, but even more yellow than everything else. I really hope my friend didn't pull a fast one on me and gave me Datura pills. I imagine this is what Datura would be like. Scary and unimaginably very strange. As I make it down the hallway from where my class was, I finally make it to the restroom. I unzip my pants as soon as I see a urinal as I walk into the restroom, only to see a horrifying sight. In the bowl was pee, which would be normal because it's a urinal, only it wasn't normal pee. It was bloody pee. I was scared because this means that someone may have a kidney stone and they passed it in the urinal. And then I realized how funny it would be to have a kidney stone pass through your penis at school. And then I proceeded to flush the urinal, but only then the pee stayed and did not leave the bowl. The bloody pee stayed in the bowl, and I was really confused. I went to go use another urinal, but I saw the same sight. Only then the bowl was filled with even more bloodier pee. Who had multiple kidney stones in the urinal, I thought. And then it shook me. My friend told me I might start seeing things I might not like. Maybe the psychoactive chemicals are starting to take effect. I used the bloody pee urinal anyway, and then as I flush, my pee mixes in with the bloody pee, but it doesn't flush. I go to the mirror to go wash my hands. I look in the mirror and see my face. My entire body is completely normal colors, except for all the colors in the bathroom. Everything is yellow except for me. And then, in the other mirror next to me, I saw a yellow man. He was lanky and skinny. Only he was butt naked, and his skin was neon yellow. He had a really ugly face and a crooked nose. Although no one was standing next to me, in the mirror it seemed like there was. And he was in the mirror looking at me. I tried to ignore him, as this is probably a psychoactive effect of the pills I took earlier, and I took to wash my hands. And then he started to crawl through the mirror by hopping on the sink and crawling through the mirror. He then had his penis out and tried to pee on me. And then I was very shocked, and in a course of adrenaline and noradrenaline, I ran out the restroom because I did not want to get hit by the pee man. A little droplet hit me and it burned my skin. I thought this is very weird because hallucinatory effects only work visually for stuff like this. But I did not think that my skin would be burning. I was really shocked and my heart was beating. What if the pee man comes to kill me? And then I realized how creepy this is. The creepy PEEPEE man might soon kill me if I don't make it back to class. But I need to sober up as much as I can before I get home. I come back to the classroom and the stupid bitch teacher gets on my ass because I had left the room without her permission, and I decided to crash out by throwing a chair at her and then picking up the trash can and dumping trash all over her. I then walked out the room to go get some fresh air and then go to the ISS room because I'd rather be anywhere else than be in her stupid class. I knock on the door and the stupid, ugly, fat, stupid track coach opens the door and sees me. I'm a recurring student that shows up to the ISS room, so that he recognizes me and asks me why I showed up again. I told him it's that because my teacher's a stupid bitch and I'd rather be anywhere else. He didn't seem to mind and let me into the classroom. I sat down, just patiently waiting for the school day to be over. As I sit down, I notice something is wrong. Everyone in the room is eerily quiet, which is weird because most of the people in that classroom are really loud, considering the fact that they're in there for a reason and don't really care for others or having mannerisms. So they're usually very ghetto and loud. After all, this is the city of Chicago. But then I look out the window and I see him again. Creepy PEEPEE is standing outside the window. At first I thought I was the only one to see him, and then I realized why the class was so quiet. They had seen him outside the window, and he popped open the pane, breaking it. He climbed into the ISS room, and then the coach came up to him to confront him. He then proceeded to whip out his penis and pee all over the coach. Only it wasn't normal pee, it was bloody pee. And then as it made contact with the coach's body, he started to melt into a puddle of bloody pee. Everyone ran out the classroom because they were really confused and scared. But me, I decided to stay behind and confront creepy PEEPEE once and for all. I whip out my penis and I start to pee all over him too. But it only made him stronger because I have normal pee and he has scary bloody pee. It was no use, so then I ran out the ISS room like everyone else did. I rushed out of the building, and then I realized that everyone that I was running with was now gone. And then I saw him again. Creepy PEEPEE had used his pee powers to use pee beams to fucking slime all of the delinquents besides me. I don't know if the pills were taking effect on me, a total toll on me, as I even questioned if any of this was real, but it 100% was. And then my friend showed up. He turned up with a vacuum, and then he shoved the vacuum up creepy PEEPEE's ass, and he turned it on. And then, like the Ghostbusters movie, whenever they used the stupid fucking machine to suck the ghosts in, it was like that, but creepy PEEPEE got sucked into the vacuum. My friend had saved the day because he was able to go to the janitor's closet and get a vacuum to kill him. Despite him having magical, almost like superhuman powers, he was defeated by the vacuum and he was no more. I asked my friend what was going on, and he told me that the pills weren't any regular pills, but instead cursed. They were cursed, and his supplier had been a part of a cult, of creepy PEEPEE cult. It was really strange, because why would they purposefully lace the pills, the creepy PEEPEE pills? Really confusing, I know, but there's a lot of things I'll never get to know as of right now. I decided to finally go home. Maybe all this would be over, I thought. But I was wrong. As I walk into my house, no one is there. Not even my parents or my brother. So then, I go up to my room and probably wait for them. But then I realized that their cars were still in the driveway. So this means that they're probably here. But where though? And then that's whenever I heard a knock on my door. I open the door and I suddenly get ambushed by 5 men. I wake up in my basement, and then in front of me was a hooded man in a yellow robe. I couldn't really see his face because it was so dark in the basement that I couldn't really see anything at all. He was holding a bag of pills though. As I was able to recognize them, they were the pills my friend gave me earlier. This might be the cult he was talking about. Maybe they had apprehended my family and were probably going to kill me. But then he started to speak.
We need a new vessel, and you are the most reliable subject.
I asked him what he meant, and he told me that I was gonna swallow all the pills in the bag, and hopefully I would turn into the next creepy PEEPEE. I couldn't let this happen, because this would mean I would turn into a yellow pea monster and pee bloody pee all day. And that would really suck, because I would never want to do that, and that really sucks. You get the idea, it sucks. But it was no use. I was tied to a chair, and they were gonna force the pills down into my mouth. And at this point, everything seemed futile. The man unhinged my jaw, and he forced me to swallow all 50 creepy PEEPEE pills. And then, my skin started to turn yellow, like I was a minion from the Despicable Me movie. And then, everything went black. I woke up in the middle of my basement butt naked, but now my skin was yellow. It was really weird, because now this means I'm now the creepy PEEPEE Chiraq Killer that pees on people. But I had to take revenge on the people that had done this to me. So I ran out in the middle of the street to go find them. But then, everyone that had saw me as a horrifying monster. The stench of urine, sulfur, everything bad and stinky. And I had the super pee powers that came with it too. I was basically a monster. This is what they turned me out to be. Maybe my life would be different, but now I'm a monster made by horrible people. Luckily though, it didn't take that long to find them. They were just down the street trying to convert other people as well. Maybe to perhaps turn other people into these horrible piss monsters. I show up and then use my piss powers to kill them. I use piss beams that come out of my hand like Spider-Man, and then I shot it at both of them as they were in front of me. And then I went to the other 3 that were busy trying to do something, like shove pills down a little boy's mouth. And then I shot the piss beams at the other 3, and then they had all died. I reassured the boy was okay and moved on. I needed to go find their base and hopefully contact the leader, and maybe this nightmare would be over. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like they started to show up everywhere. Men in yellow robes, converting the people, shoving pills in their mouth, turning them into disgusting piss monsters like how I was. I apprehended all of the men in robes with my piss powers, killing them. After all, this is the monster they made, and now they're getting a taste of their own medicine. I eventually make my way into a forest. There's a giant fortress made out of what seems to be yellow wood, which is kind of funny considering the fact that they're a piss cult and they have a fortress made out of yellow wood because it's piss colored. I walk into the fortress. It's seemingly empty, weirdly enough, but then I notice a tent in the middle of the fortress and I go there. And then, the biggest thing yet, it was my friend and some other guy in there too, which I assumed to be the leader. My friend was actually the right-hand man of the leader all along. I should have known. This is probably why he gave me the pills in the first place. The poor bastard had basically been a bad bastard the whole time. I could feel the anger coursing in my veins. The rage inside of me was impalpable. My piss powers seeming to get stronger. I asked my friend, "How could you do this to me? We've been day one since elementary school." But then he told me that ever since he's been in this cult, since he was 5 years old, he's always made ways to fucking use his piss magic to manipulate and control people. It wasn't more than physical powers, but mental ones. I was confused until suddenly I went down on my knees and then he came towards me to whip out his penis. However, I was very strong-willed in my mind. I was easily able to get back up and use piss powers to push him off me. It seemed that he thought that he could control me and easily underestimated me. I used my piss beams to kill him, and then I went up to the leader. "Why are you doing this? I had to kill my friend, and now I'm a horrible monster. This is what you do to people? You're sick!" I have nothing now. You know that?
Man, I don't give a fuck!
And then I killed him too, after I used my piss beams on him. It was all over. No more piss goons. No more cult. No more leader. And most importantly, no more friend. I had nothing now. No one to talk to. I walked out the fortress, seeing the massacre I had made in the other neighborhood in front of the forest. The street was riddled with cult members, dead because of my superpowers. I was still yellow-skinned, and I still had piss powers, making me the creepy PEEPEE of Chiraq. However, with that, it came with consequences as well. I never really grew up properly after that, but eventually I had kids of my own who also had their own piss powers and a loving wife. I now have 2 kids and I'm currently 45 years old. I still have piss powers to this day, and my skin is still piss yellow. Even with my odd powers, people respected me as a normal person, and even then, it was really, really nice that people could respect me as that. But my powers and my appearance serve as a reminder that you can't trust everyone, And eventually, it showed up as a scar to be a reminder that even then, your closest friends could eventually betray you